Hello and welcome. I'm Tom.
And I'm Kate.
And we are the Mortons on the Move.
We built out and travel in an Overland truck camper. And in this video series, we're documenting our maiden adventures in this truck camper.
We took 3 months and traveled through New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona. And we're going to be bringing you along in this first video as we travel across the country to our first major destination, the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta.
We spent the summer building out and renovating our truck camper, getting ready for this adventure. This was really our maiden voyage. We were going to be working out a bunch of kinks, so we knew that going into it. And we were just really excited to get out west and be able to take this thing off-road because that's ultimately what we wanted it for and what it was built to do.
Now, if you want to learn more about the truck camper build itself and the renovation, we did a set of 2 videos, one about the truck and one about the camper, actually 3, one about the truck, one about the camper, and one about the complete renovation. Those are on our channel that you can go back and reference. We'll put links in the description below to those if you're interested.
So we did that renovation while we were in Michigan, and as we got towards the end of the summer, the weather started to get a little bit cooler and it was time to hit the road. We wrapped up all of our final projects and we drove our truck camper with our 5th wheel, because that's what we travel in most of the time.
Our primary home.
Our primary home. And we drove that down to Nashville because we had to do something with the 5th wheel while we took the truck camper out west. Well, we got the 5th wheel all stored and we've got the truck camper all packed up, and we were just having a quick lunch before we hit the road. We are in Nashville at NIRVC, National Indoor RV Center, and that's where we're storing the 5th wheel, and we've been camped out here for a couple of days, moving everything and getting everything buttoned up and ready. So we're finally here, and all we have to do is eat and start driving.
Hi, 5th wheel.
Hi, 5th wheel. New air. Please don't hit the new air. We basically took the I-40 across the country directly west.
The first thing that we started doing when we got in the truck camper was boondocking immediately, because that is what this camper is built for. We were able to find some really cool spots. We had a lot of lakefront sites or riverfront sites, which was a lot of fun.
Well, we found this really cool little spot at a boat ramp in somewhere Arkansas. It's been really fun. It's been really quiet, and I've just been really enjoying this truck camper so far and getting to work in the space that we created and enjoy it. So it's really cool.
Now, one thing that was unique that we immediately got to test out as well was the new air conditioning system, because it was hot. What's exciting and unique about what we installed air conditioning wise is that it's a 12-volt air conditioner, and combined with the battery system that we installed, that system was working awesome. We
have 2 GC3 Battleborn lithium batteries, about 540 amp hours total. Basically nothing changed for us going from our 5th wheel to the truck camper power-wise, which was great. That was something that was very important to us.
Okay, so the first major destination that we made it to was a place called Palo Duro Canyon in Texas. Now, this is somewhere that we've driven by many times, but we just never had the time to stop. It is just south of Amarillo, Texas, and it is the 2nd largest canyon in the United States. Most people don't know that. It's over 120 miles long, and I think it averages somewhere around 800 feet deep. So it is quite a monster of a canyon, carving through the panhandle of Texas.
We are in Palo Duro Canyon. We have a campsite here, and we waited for the sun to come down and it to maybe get a little cooler to go exploring, because it's like 90 degrees out. We are just south of Amarillo, Texas, in the 2nd largest canyon in the United States, so we're gonna finally go check this one out. We only had 2 nights there, but we made the most of it. We got our rad bikes down and we basically toured the whole park on bike, which was great.
The kind of the north end of the canyon and one of the deeper spots, the state park is situated right at the base of the canyon. It has roads that kind of wind through all sorts of different places. And they have a few very popular hikes that you can hike out to. One of the most popular ones is called the Lighthouse Trail.
So here in Palo Duro, it gets very hot and the sun is very intense, very high UV index levels. So this is the first time we've ever seen this. Sunscreen dispensers at the trailhead, as well as thermometers. So you know exactly what you're getting into, and hopefully you don't get a sunburn.
So we took the electric bikes and we cruised all the way out to the end. And then there's actually a bike rack at the end. We locked up the bikes and we hiked the rest of the way. We are climbing Palo Duro climbing.
Used to this kind of elevation.
We're trying to find the lighthouse. This is one of the most popular trails here in Palo Duro Canyon. We're not even sure if we're on the right trail, but we are going up, up, up. Luckily we were able to bike a good chunk of it, but holy man, this is a pretty intense hike. Somehow I think there's a good chance this is not the right trail, but check out the view. Oh yeah, there it is. It's in the distance. Along the way, however, we got to experience something that we had never seen before yet in our travels.
A tarantula!
What do you think of that?
We've seen a tarantula! Since I got to hold one a couple years ago, I'm not as terrified now that I know more about them, but I was still very jumpy. I know they're not gonna chase me, they're not going to kill me. It's just really cool to see one. We've never seen one
In the wild.
in the wild before. So it's fascinating from that regard.
Getting to the end of the trail, you actually get to the Lighthouse Rock Formation, and it's kind of a set of rock formations actually, and you can kind of hike around them, and it was stunning. I wasn't sure what to expect. We hadn't even seen a picture of this thing before, so it was beautiful. And getting to see the canyon from that location was just spectacular. The sun was kind of starting to set a little bit at the time. It was just
very peaceful.
Very quiet. It's just kind of a magical experience getting to be there. Well, we have met up with John and Peter of the RV Geeks, who we are attending the Balloon Fiesta with. We're actually following them right now, and we are just about to get to the Balloon Fiesta Park. We are pretty excited.
We were going to be doing some filming at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta with them, and so we checked into the camping area, and we were there with the Fantasy RV Tour group. So we checked in with them, got our spot, kind of got settled, and started planning for what was to come, because we really didn't know what we were in for. We really didn't do a lot of research about attending the Balloon Fiesta, and we kind of just were winging it. So we finally started to do some research to figure out what we were doing.
We basically learned that you're gonna have to get up extremely early every single morning, and that was the first thing that we planned for, was an extremely early get up at 4:30 the next morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What time is it? 4:30.
Yeah, time to go see some balloons.
So early.
So early. What are we doing up this early, Bells? She's like, I don't know. Ugh, it's too early. Why are we up so early, guys?
4:30.
I really don't want to do this.
Come on, girly. Come on.
Really?
It's so early. I'm just kind of stiff.
kind of stiff, guys.
Here we go. We're gonna ride our e-bikes over to the balloon field because that's what we hear is pretty cool. They do have shuttles running, but we brought our rad bikes here for a reason. Ready, guys?
What's that?
Ready, guys?
We're all ready. We're ready.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
It's pretty chilly out here, hence the gloves and being bundled up, but we see a lot of people have wagons and blankets and chairs and sleeping bags. Like they're gonna kind of get settled in, pick out a spot and try to stay warm while the show happens. So we didn't bring all of that stuff. I imagine we'll be running around filming like crazy, but the goal is to stay warm.
Good morning from where?
Albuquerque.
How do you spell that?
A-L-B-U Kirky.
K-I-R-K-I. A-L-B-U-Q-U-E-R-Q-U-E. I think that's it.
Q or Q?
Q-R-Q.
Quirquare. That's the balloon.
Not much was going on really at first.
No, we got there in the dark originally, and we were just kind of walking through this field with hundreds and hundreds of balloons all laid out. But then the first balloons started to inflate, and the sun isn't even up yet. And you see just a handful of balloons inflating at this point, and they kind of all lift up, and they light the balloons occasionally. And before dawn, when the fire
It's dark out.
flares up into that balloon and it glows,
So pretty.
it's just kind of, it's exciting. We're so excited.
It works.
So we just watched the first several hot air balloons take off, which was very exciting. We got to stand up really close to one and everyone's really pumped, so they start cheering once it gets off the ground and starts going into the air. And right now they're doing the dawn patrol. So basically these balloons go up and check, make sure the air conditions are right. They're the brave ones, I guess. And then they're going to be getting more balloons up ready for the mass ascension where all the balloons like go up all at one time, which is going to be spectacular because just watching these first few were so exhilarating.
All the balloons originally inflate with very powerful fans, like usually gasoline-powered engines that run fans, and all of a sudden the whole field just starts roaring with fans because all of them start to inflate at the same time.
Yes, and so then after that, it's just like you're just chasing the wonder. You're just following your heart and whatever your eyes want to look at, and you're just pulled towards all these balloons. And it's magical. Like we were not prepared for that kind of spectacular display. It was amazing.
It's like controlled chaos. It's loud, it's cold out, and then the heat of the exhaust, you can feel it. It's so hot when they fire those. We're surrounded by balloons. This is an incredible experience. It's just amazing. Welcome to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta field. This is the primary hub of the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. As you can see behind me, the balloons take off from this field, and sometimes they also land here. Lots goes on here throughout the week. There's festivities, there's evening activities, morning activities, but it all takes place primarily here on this 86-acre field. It's so big that 56 American football fields could fit within this space. Now, the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta started in 1973 with only 13 hot air balloons, but today we get over 500 hot air balloons at this event. Almost 1 million people attend this event as well, and while it is really busy and sometimes it seems absolutely chaotic on the field, It's controlled chaos. The Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta is unique because we are able to get out on the field and get up close, actually touch and see the balloons, even help the pilots out sometimes. All of that is due to the fact that they have what they call zebras on the field. These are the launch directors that actually help control the balloons and the crowds so that we can actually be out with them on the field.
Down low, you go southwest. Up high, you go southeast.
So why is Albuquerque such a popular destination for balloons? Well, it primarily has to do with the conditions that balloons need to fly in. Balloons need fair weather and light winds, and Albuquerque has a lot of that. You can fly balloons almost year-round here in Albuquerque, but there's also another special weather condition that forms here that makes it even more ideal. It's called the Albuquerque box. Because we're in a valley, cool air overnight slides down from the mountains and creates a low wind current in one direction, low at the ground. The balloons can take off and ride that air current south towards the city, but they can then increase elevation up to a higher elevation where the winds are warmer and they flow the complete opposite direction. What that enables the balloons to do is come back over the field and sometimes land right where they took off from. It also makes for an incredible sight, watching balloons go one way near the ground and in the upper altitudes go the completely opposite direction. Now the box doesn't always set up. You really need ideal weather conditions. But this morning we had that. We watched the balloons take off from the field, head towards the city, increase in altitude, and come right back over us. And now we have balloons in all directions, which is just a stunning sight. Now behind me you can see the balloons inflating. And when they inflate a balloon, they actually don't start with the hot air. They start with big, usually engine-powered fans that fill the balloon with just cold, regular air. Once the balloon is mostly inflated and they get the go-ahead from the launch director, then they actually fire the propane into the balloon to heat it up. It doesn't take very long from that point for the balloon to start rising up, especially in the cool mornings.
So we just met some stormtroopers who are crewing the Yoda balloon. We do hear there's a Darth Vader around here somewhere too, but it is so awesome to see people getting this into it, and you know, they're interacting with kids and stuff, and people are dressed up and just loving this. This is so cool.
What was great about that experience, that first day, was just knowing that tomorrow we get to do it all over again. And we did, like every day. We got up really early to go to the field, watch it, and then we started experimenting with it, because you don't necessarily have to be on the field to have an incredible experience with it. Where we were parked with our RVs, a lot of times the balloons come right over, and there were people landing their balloons right where all the RVs were parked and right in front of where we were parked. So on a morning that you want to sleep in a little bit, you still get a fantastic show with balloons right in front of you. It was really fun. I would probably have to say though that my favorite part of the fiesta or the day is going back in the evening for the glow. And this is where the balloons actually don't take off, but they all line up and they all inflate, staying on the ground, and they light them up just to glow.
After it gets a little bit dark out.
And when you have this huge field full of huge balloons, beautiful, colorful balloons that are just amazing in themselves, and you get them lighting up and flickering and flashing all at one time, it is truly magical.
And you get to really take in the balloons because they're not going anywhere. So they're inflated there. And sometimes I'd say they're inflated for half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe longer. So you get to really see the workings of the balloons, the details.
And they got pretty creative with some of the shapes. Like there was that big cow one, there were several pigs, there was Darth Vader. You know, they do have a lot of fun with them, and the pilots have a lot of fun with their designs, and there's usually a great story that goes along with every single one of those balloons. It's so warm standing this close.
Look at the inner structure to this balloon. It's held together with fabric ribs. This is fabric engineering right here. Wow. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, we did post a video walking through the balloon field with the balloons inflating and during the glow, all in 360 degrees VR. So you can actually pan your screen around and look around at all these balloons. It feels like a city of balloons walking through it. It's definitely worth a watch.
And it really makes you feel like a kid again. So getting to Albuquerque and experiencing the Balloon Fiesta, we were really settling into the truck camper and getting to know it and getting comfortable with it. We really hadn't had too much of an opportunity to take it off-road and start testing out some of those more overland capabilities that we were really excited about with this build.
So our tires had mainly been on pavement or gravel at this point, but our next adventure was going to be taking us to Moab, and all of that is about to change. As always, thank you so much for joining us here on our channel. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter over on our website. We publish daily content about RVing, and we'll also let you know when that next video about Moab comes out.
We're really excited to bring you along on our overlanding adventures, so stick around.
See you down the road.